Hello and welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason and this week I'll be restomodding this Matchbox Superfast Lotus Europa. These castings were produced by Lesney between 1969 and 1975, though it returned briefly for a limited Japanese series between 1977 and 1979. I'll be modifying the model to this Japanese spec by painting it black and adorning it with gold John Player Special decals. The blue model looks like this from new, with this how the JPS castings appeared. The roof decals have worn away on that example, as they came with gold rectangular patterns on the nose, bonnet and roof, with the JPS logo in the centre of the hood. I bought my reproductions from Black Square Decals and a link is in the video description. The Europa replaced the second Routemaster bus at number 5 in the Matchbox series in 1969. It was designed at the very end of the regular wheels era of Matchbox, as it became one of the very first all-new models to feature in their new low-friction Superfast range to compete with Hot Wheels. It was so early in fact that the very earliest examples don't have the Superfast name printed onto their bases. That crack you heard was me splitting the plastic window piece as I tried to flatten the rivet that was holding it in. As reproductions aren't made, I need a donor car. Pre-production Matchbox Europas were painted red and had prototype chrome hub wheels. Some also had what would then become the production 5-spoke narrow wheels. The first production models were painted in a clear blue lacquer over silver primer like mine had. The casting was modified to beef up the door sills just before it was recoloured to pink clear coat over silver primer in 1971. The cast was again modified the following year in order to allow the new wider wheels to be fitted. As a result, the wheel arches were rounded and the rivet securing in the window piece was deleted. That was good news for me in my urgent search for a donor. I need to find a post-1971 pink car. The Europa continued on in the Superfast series until 1975, when it was replaced by the dreary Seafire powerboat. Thankfully, the tooling was revived in 1977. John Player & Sons were a tobacco and cigarette manufacturer based out of Nottingham, England. They merged with other manufacturers to form the Imperial Tobacco Group in 1901, with their products Gold Leaf, Navy Cut, Number 9 and John Player Special varieties kept on as brands under Imperial. Players began a long association with the Lotus Formula 1 team in 1968, sponsoring the Lotus 49 with a red, white and gold accented gold leaf livery. Starting in 1972 on the Lotus 72D, the livery was changed to black with John Player Special branding in gold. The JPS sponsorship continued through until 1986 with the Lotus 98T. To honour Team Lotus's Formula 1 World Constructors' Championship collected in 1972 in JPS colours, Lotus Cars released a limited run Europa called the John Player Special. Naturally, these were painted black, had gold pinstriping and had a numbered dashboard mounted badge on the first 100 cars. These twin-cam, 5-speed big valve cars were supposed to be limited to 200 units, but following a positive reaction to the special, they continued to be offered until the end of Europa production in 1975. After the decision was taken to continue with the special, it was made available in colours other than black. Here I'm removing the rivet post from the inside of the roof of the casting, because my donor window has a solid top. When the rivet was removed, some window pieces with holes for the rivet could be found in rivetless models. The 1977 to 1979 Japanese issues of the Europa were all painted black with the JPS branding. I'm not certain, but I think that this was the first instance of a black painted Matchbox car. The Japanese series was dropped in 1979. Despite how good the livery was, the model must not have been all that popular there. As a result, excess black Lotuses with and without the gold tampos found their way into European 2-packs. These could also be found with the traditional 5-spoke wheels or the more modern dot dash design. Right at the start of the year, I restored Lone Star's version of the Europa, which also had opening doors plus an opening rear engine cover. In that video, I talked about the history of the Europa itself. If you haven't seen that, follow the link here. I delivered on my promise to bring you a JPS Restomod, though I still haven't found a good set of wheels to fit that Europa sadly. I have to say these Black Square reproduction decals are superb. That gold colour really stands out well against the black. All I need to do now is lock them in with a clear coat. So let's put my Restomod Matchbox Europa together. My donated window piece glides into the cabin now that stubborn rivet has been ground away. After that goes the cleaned interior, and the polished metal base follows, which connects to the front using the registration plate as a tongue and slot fitment. Here's how my Matchbox 5E Lotus Europa looked to begin. I do like the original colour on these, maybe not quite as much as I like a John Player Special black and gold livery though. But if you'd like to see me restore a blue or pink Europa to original spec, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know whether you prefer the Matchbox or Lone Star version of the Europa. So let's take a look at my Restomod. I love this colour scheme, the gold on black is so distinctive. The quality of the decal certainly helps too. It's unfortunate that I broke the original window piece, meaning I required a donor car for this build. It's a bit odd that reproductions aren't made for what I consider to be a popular casting. I've got some great footage in the outro of a 1973 JPS Europa from the 1974 film 11 Harrow House. I'm pretty certain the car didn't survive the full chase scene, but boy does it look great in the clips. Leave the video a like if you enjoyed this Restomod, and make sure that you subscribe to stay posted with my latest releases. Thanks to all my existing subscribers, in particular to those of you who contribute to costs through YouTube memberships or Patreon. Links to join them are below, but all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.